course, that community meeting will determine whether or not people actually protest and continue their protests. What are they saying?
Hi there, Shahan. That's right. That community meeting ended about 5 minutes ago, Shahan. The MEC for Community Safety here and joined by the mayor of this municipality attended that meeting. Shahan, there were two meetings initially in this community. One meeting was with the stakeholders, including farmers and local businesses and community leaders, and then there was the meeting that just concluded about 5 minutes ago. Part of that meeting really was government urging local residents to allow the situation to return to normality here in Coligny. They're saying that they hear their concerns and their frustrations, and that they're promising to do everything they can to assist in ensuring that that bail decision by the magistrate yesterday is reviewed. And of course, they're also urging community members to allow the children to go back to school, and some residents really saying no, shouting no, that will not happen until we know for certain that that bail decision is reviewed.
All right, Mali, just stand by for me. I understand we have a clip of that interview with the MEC, so let's listen to that.
The first thing that we're pleading, we communicated, is to say that the law has taken its course. The court has pronounced that the two gentlemen should be given bail, their own bail, and we are aware that the community is dissatisfied, and the process of appeal is underway to appeal the issuing of the bail that was granted. That's the first part. The second part is that we are forming an RHR forum where we're trying to bring the communities together in Coligny, and that will be headed by the Office of the Premier through the Director for RHR.
Now, Mali, just listening to the MEC, that's something that obviously residents would have wanted to hear because they opposed bail in the first place. Has that managed to calm community members down at all?
Not at all, Shahan, and I think one of the things we heard about a few minutes ago is that the people are starting to regroup again. Clearly, they are not satisfied with what they were told by the MEC. The thing is, Shahan, with this community, they want results and they want them now. They don't want them tomorrow. They want the situation to change as we speak. To them, the two men are already guilty in their eyes, even though the court has actually not proclaimed them guilty in this matter, because the matter still has to go on trial, and they're saying that they cannot have people who are accused of murdering one of their own sleeping comfortably at night, whereas one of their own is 6 feet underground. And of course, the Northwest government saying that one of the main to come and talk in what they call its reconciliation and healing renewal. What that means, Shahan, it's really to bring these people together and say, you guys need to get along. You need to look beyond the color of your skin and your status in the society. Well, I think that's actually going to be very difficult in a community that is so divided, because the rich here, the gap between the rich and the poor is so wide. We just returned, Sean, inside the community. It's filled with litter and shacks everywhere and uncollected refuse lying all over the place. And of course, you want the people living in such conditions to meet with the people who living in electrified homes that have heaters and air cons to meet and really try and find a way forward into their differences. It's actually going to be very hard for the Northwest government to actually pull this off, but they are saying that they will do everything they can to make sure that the people talk together and they understand one another.
Well, I guess it has to start somewhere, but let's talk about these community members who seem to be gathering for more protests. Of course, the two accused have been granted bail. They have been told to stay in Coligny. Do you know if there's any attempt by residents to actually try to find them?
Not as yet, Shahan, not as yet, but I know for a fact the residents have been saying that they will cause havoc until those two men are back in jail. And one of the things, though, during their bail application was that one of the conditions was that if they are granted bail, then they will have to have alternative addresses. And I know the two accused had provided those two alternative addresses, and one of the addresses was out of this town.
And lastly, Malu, let's talk about the farmers who some say feel under threat, especially since 3 houses were torched yesterday alone after that judgment. How are they feeling, and what are police doing to actually protect farmers?
Shahan, in the first meeting that took place this morning here, there were farmers' representatives which we tried to talk to, but of course they were not open to talking to us. But they were part of that meeting that was trying to find a solution to the problem that's currently in this community. And of course they want their businesses to run as normal. And one of the things that we saw in the morning was the police sort of like stationing themselves in very strategic positions, making sure that if anything happens that they're able to prevent protesters from moving into the farms. But of course we also heard that one of the Afrikaans organizations was working on bringing private security guards here to assist in safeguarding those farmers. Well, I have seen some private security guards moving up and down the streets, but I cannot say for certain, Shahan, that those private security guards are linked to that particular organization for now.
All right, thanks very much for the update. Appreciate it. ENCA reporter Malungelo Boy in Coligny in the northwest.
Burning in Kemeza has failed in his latest